With the Devi Mahatamyam. What we had done till yesterday was the part of meditation on Mahakali. A small recap of what has happened for the first few minutes, and then I will continue with the second episode. So, in the first episode, there are two people who are coming together at a place. He is a king. One is a king of a country, and the second one is a businessman. So when these two people come together, they are talking about the miseries of their own life. The king says that my kingdom has been usurped by the enemy, has been taken over, my wife and my son and everybody has thrown me out. I am not having a country to go back to. And there in that place, when he meets this businessman, the businessman says the same story. He says, I have been doing this business for many years. I was a very prosperous businessman. And one fine day, my wife and my children have discarded me. So both of them are talking to each other and saying how they are still attached to their family. They are asking each other, why is it that I feel so much of a bonding for the same people who have kicked me out of the house? So the same sons and the daughters and the wives and the people around who have been literally, thrown me out in an exile, have kicked me out, why do I still feel emotions for them? So they went to meet this great sage in the jungle. Now he is a guru, he is running a gurukul, and in that gurukul there are lots of tigers and lions and all these animals are there, but they are very docile. So they come to know that he is a great sage. And these two people, they go and sit in front of this sage and they ask him these questions. Can you please help us? Why are we so much attached to our wives and children and the kingdom and the riches and money and stuff like that? Why are we still attached to all of them when we know very well that they have thrown us out? My sons have taken away my property. My wife has kicked me out of the house. And yet, why do I feel so much attached to them? So the sage says, I will tell you a story. And he starts with a story. And he says, now Devi Mahatamyam is about this. It is nothing but your own story. How you get attached in this world. And the story of the different goddesses. Goddesses basically translate into potencies. Potencies means powers that are there within you. Please don't try to look for Devi outside. The Devi is the power within you. How you raise those powers within you so that you are able to circumvent these situations, you are able to overcome them, and somewhere along the path you get on the spiritual track and reach the state of self-realization. Now here in this case, the sage is telling them the story. So he starts at the beginning. He says Narayana was sleeping on the snake bed that he has, Adishesh, in the ocean of milk at the end of the last yuga. Remember, there are yugas. 4 yugas are there. One manvantara gets over, everything goes to waters. So he is sitting on this ocean of milk, we call it that, and lying over there, not sitting, I should not say sitting, he is lying over there. And the question is, when he is asleep in his yoga nidra, 2 demons are born from his ear. One is called Madhu and the other one is called Kaitab. Madhu and Kaitab are born. So, when these Madhu and Kaitab are born, they start taking over the entire domain. Now, this is an allegorical kind of an example given. We have to translate it to what it means to us. See, in almost every scripture, every storybook and every epics that we have read, have you heard of people talking very eloquently, very nicely? They literally praise and they talk such good language. Have you heard of this or no? Do you remember Shakuni? Shakuni Mama, from the Mahabharata. He used to talk so sweetly to his bhanja, that is Duryodhana and the gang. So he used to say those words and he spoke very, very beautifully. Now what did he speak? Words that are going to praise the person, that person. In a similar fashion, you will find that Dasharath in Ramayana, he was very much enamored with his wives. He had to perform the yajna so that all of them can have children. I'm sure you remember this from the Ramayana. And the wife, Kaikeyi, she has helped him and has saved him once, which she uses later on. Okay. Now, there is a servant. She fills the ears of Kaikeyi against the so-called anointed king Sri Ram. He was going to get anointed as the king. And tells her that, you see, you should not allow that son, is not a direct son, to become the king. You have to go and tell this king that you have to appoint your son. Now, this is, when the sweet talkers are there in this world, we call them Madhu. They talk very sweetly to you. Now, in that sweetness is the diabetes hidden. You understand the disease called diabetes? So, this sweetness is actually the cause of misery in this world. You have a lot of sycophants. They will come and pander to you. They will say a lot of good stuff. All the presidents and all the prime ministers and all the great kings also have this kind of, we call them in Hindi, we call them chamcha. They will come and they will pander to you and they speak very nicely about you. You also have a lot of people in your life who will keep on giving you false praises. And you get carried away by them. Why are you getting carried away by these people? You see, in the Bhagavad Gita, where it is mentioned that you should never get carried away by these kind of things. You should have equanimity of mind. The equanimity of mind doesn't exist with human beings. That is why this Madhu is a dangerous Rakshasa. He's a demon. We have to stay away from this demon. There are many times when your spouse will come and talk very sweetly with you. Yeah. That kind of a language, good language. It is not because they like you or something like that. They are not in love with you. No. They are interested in doing something. They want something. That is the only reason they are talking nicely to you. Nobody talks nicely to you. Please remember this. You see, in my satsang, I am a very bitter person. Cynical. I am not like all those other gurus who are pandering to you. I don't care about them. I'll call a spade a spade. If you say a spade means nobody is going to be with you. That is why my channel will never get subscribed that much. And on the contrary, people subscribe to for one day and next day they will unsubscribe. I'm very happy when they unsubscribe. I don't want riffraff in my channels. You should know that. If nobody is willing to hear the truth, then what is the point of being there? See, got the point? So don't listen to this nonsense. Okay? What people, when they praise you, you should not listen to them. Don't get carried away by praises. That is called Madhu. Then this great other demon is also there. Now this demon always drives you crazy. You get upset by a lot of things in your world. Now let us go to the other end of the channel, other. If suppose somebody doesn't do that, what happens to you? Now you have made a very great video, or you have written a very good script, or you have written a very good poetry, and you are expecting people to praise you. Huh? And when you come to me, I will say, what kind of trash you have done? I don't like this. Go away. You will get upset about it. Hearing. All this is connected to hearing. Please understand. The first word in our, when the creation happens is called sound. Sound. Huh? It is nothing but waves. It is nothing but energy. The energy of the sound. So these Madhu and Kaitab are born in his ear. They are earwax. Earwax, you understand, no? We normally pull out the earwax. So, these two demons are very dangerous for us. We have to stay away from this. Don't get carried away when people praise you or they don't praise you. Don't bother your head about, what people say or they don't say. You have to have equanimity of mind. So he says, when the sage said, let's see the last line, be it, the wielder of conch, and here the evolution of a new goddess, which we call as the Mahakali, happens. It means the power potency to override all these difficulties. It happens. Now, I don't want to I have spent enough time on this, so let us continue with today's second episode. All right. So we will start our second episode today. It is called Meditation on Mahakali. So I'll just start reading and then I'll give the explanation as we go along. Wielding in her hands the string of beads, battle axe, mace, arrows, thunderbolt, lotus, bow, waterpot, cudgel, lance, sword, shield, conch, bell, wine cup, trident, noose, and the discus, Sudarshana. She had a complexion of coral and seated on a lotus. I worship her here, the MahaLakshmi, the vanquisher of the Asura, Mahisha. So we are introducing a new person over here, a new potency over here called MahaLakshmi. So we will start. First verse. Om Reem, the sage said, long ago when Mahisha was the lord of the Asuras and Indra of the gods, there was a war between the gods and the Asura for a full 100 years. In that the army of the gods was vanquished by Asura of great valor. Having conquered all the gods, Mahishasura became Indra. Well, I forgot to tell you that the earlier demons got killed, okay? But did they get killed? No. They are still there with you. Because you like to hear all the phrases. So here now we are going to the second Asura, which is called Mahisha. Okay. Mahisha it means a buffalo. You know what a buffalo is? No? Mahis. Mahis is a buffalo in our language. Then the vanquished gods led by Brahma, the lotus born, the lord of being, went to the place where was Shiva and Garuda bannered gods. The gods narrated to both of them the activities of Mahishasura and the details of insults heaped upon the gods just as they happened. He himself now wielding the authority of the sun, Indra, the fire, the wind, the moon, Yama, Varuna, and of other gods. The entire host of gods, expelled by the wicked Mahisha from heaven, wandered across the earth as mortals do. We have narrated in full the deeds of the enemy of the gods. We seek refuge in you. Pray, think about slaying him. Thus, having heard the words of the gods, the slayer of Madhu got angry, and also Shiva, and their faces frowning with knit eyebrows. Now here, this new demon has come. Mahishasura. Mahishasura is pure tamas. Have you ever seen a buffalo? A buffalo is always very passive creature. He is always sitting in the muck over there. The same shit they are sitting in. Okay? They are just sitting over there and chewing the cud almost all the time. Like that they will keep on doing. Okay? They won't even lift their tail to drive the flies that sit on them. It's so funny, I mean, where I used to stay earlier in Mumbai, many years ago, next door was, next door means quite a little distance away. There were, I think, hundreds in Mumbai, hundreds of buffaloes. Now Mumbai has become like a big edifice, but that time there were buffaloes and the place used to stink like nobody's business. Okay, just for information. A place which we say is a hoi polloi kind of a place in Mumbai called Bandra. Bandra, where my forefathers came from, this place used to stink like nobody's business. One of the worst places on earth. Why? Because it had the biggest abattoir over there. Abattoir means, in Hindi they call it Kattal Khana. Kattal Khana means all animals were killed over there, for food. What? We use the mutton and all that, One of the biggest one in near the Bandra railway station. And to pass from there used to stink like nobody's business. Then they took it to another faraway place. Okay, that's a different story. But in the similar manner, in this place where I used to stay, this place used to be there. All buffaloes only. Mostly Mumbai people drink buffalo milk. Okay, because it is thick. So these buffaloes, I would see them literally every day while passing. And they would be just doing nothing. They will be just either standing or sitting and just that's it. Beyond that, they never did anything. They are not like cows. So Mahishasur is nothing but that. He is, but by the way, in our Hollywood movies, we have something which is called shapeshifters. Have you heard of shapeshifters? All these alien creatures, they are shapeshifters. Like that, this Mahishasur is a great shapeshifter. He's going to shift all his shapes. He's going to become something great. All the youngsters will understand. All the old foggies like me don't understand. Okay? So these are shapeshifters. So this Mahishasur is a great guy who is born over there, who is now going to take over the entire population. I mean, all of us have become like buffaloes only now, We are lazy to the core. You don't want to do anything. And after pandemic, nobody wants to lift their fingers also. Can I work from home? I won't work from home. I don't want to do this. People find it very tough even to lift their finger to do something. They don't want to cook, so they will order food online. They don't want to buy groceries, so they will order grocery online. They don't have to go and buy anything anywhere, so they will order it online. They don't go to the bank because, bank is in your phone. Government is in your phone. That means you want to do something, tick, 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 tick. And we are lazy like nobody's business today's day and age. I'm telling you. This age is of Mahishasura. Everybody has become a buffalo only. We sit in one place and we eat cud all the time. Like that. And we do nothing. We eat, drink, go and give, maybe a little milk. That's it. That's it. Beyond that, nothing. Yeah, and produce children. That's another story. So what happens is, all these gods, they go to Vishnu and Shiva, and they say, oh, there is this demon over there. Can you do something about it? Earlier, Madhu and Kaitab were killed by the Lord when he woke up from his sleep. Oh, this guy is doing like this. I'll go and put one. And he killed him maybe. I don't know how he got killed. But anyway, let us come to the story over here. Think like this. Here are the gods. And here is Mahishasur, the shapeshifter. Then from the face of the wielder of discus, which was brimming with fury, and from the face of Brahma and Shankara, a great effulgence emerged. From the bodies of other gods like Indra, a great effulgence emerged as well, and it all became a united mass. The gods saw that there is a lofty peak of effulgence looking at the blazing volcano, pervading the quarters with its flames. Born out of the bodies of all the gods, that unique effulgence, combined with one mass of light, took the form of a woman, pervading the triple worlds with its luster. In that effulgence, what was light of Shiva, from that was formed the face. The tresses were formed from the light of Yama, the arms from the light of Vishnu, the two breasts were from the light of the moon, the middle portion from the light of the Indra, the legs and the thighs from the light of Varuna, and the hips from the light of the earth. The feet from the light of Brahma, and the fingers from the sunlight. The fingers of the hand from that of the Vasus, and the nose from the light of Kubera. Her teeth were formed from the light of Prajapati, the lord of beings. Likewise, the triad of the eyes were born from the light of fire. The eyebrows from the true Sandhyas, the ears from the light of the wind. From the light of other gods as well, the auspicious goddess was formed. Here is an explanation for this goddess that got formed. So when the gods approached, the great gods who were there, like Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, now they said that we have to create a power potency. And everybody should contribute. It's like we are trying to build a temple with people's contribution. Something like that. So, sarcasm, okay? Nothing beyond that. Like I said, I have to tell the truth most of the time. So let us come to the story. Here what happens is, all the gods are going to contribute something which is very important from their side. So the face is contributed by one, the arms are contributed by another, everything, every part of the body is contributed by the gods. And there is that woman formed. Okay. Now please understand what this is. Why was a man not formed? Did you understand? A man doesn't have that potency to stay for long. Woman can literally be there, even in the worst of the circumstances, she can continue to be around. She has got the resilient character. Now, a normal woman also has these power potencies. Please understand this very carefully. The unfortunate part is the woman never recognizes these potencies in herself. The power potency of all the gods is there. All. Literally, there is no god which is not there. Did you see how many weapons she carries? When I was starting this, did I read that in her hand, the string of beads? What does string of beads signify? Vedic knowledge, the battle axe, the mace, the arrow, thunderbolt, lotus, bow, water pot, cudgel, lance, sword, shield, conch, bell, wine cup, trident, noose, and Sudarshan Chakra. Can you imagine that? She has every power that she wants. Now look at the person next to you. If you have some woman next to you, look at her and see from which angle does she ever exude that. Why? You know the reason why it doesn't exude from her? Because Mahishasura has captured her. Please understand this. The woman has a power potency of all the gods put together. Not just one god. All the gods, all the gods. Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh to the Vasus to the Prajapatis, every god that is there. The fire god is there. The wind god is there. All these gods, what they did, they put their powers in this one person only. And they made her into a powerful entity. But recognizing that power is extremely important. Knowing that you have the power, you have to use it. Now you will see how this Devi performs with the Mahishasura. Every juncture she is going to have a problem. Finally she will come to the point where she is able to defeat. Think on the lines of, the gods. The gods are supposed to be gods. With just a blink of the eye they can do everything, isn't it? But in the previous chapter, did we hear that Vishnu was fighting with that demon for 5,000 years? My God, 5,000 years? For what? So, here we are going to discuss about the great goddess called MahaLakshmi. She is known by another name called Durga. Every woman is a Durga. Every power on earth is in her. So that is why you saw from the face she gets something, from the arms for something. Every god is given her something or the other. So, the eyebrows from Sandhya, the ears from the light of the wind, from the light of other gods as well, auspicious goddess was formed. Then on seeing her born out of the lights heaped up from all the gods, the immortals afflicted by Mahisha became happy. That's verse 19. Then the gods gave individually to her their respective weapons. Now they are giving her their weapons also. Imagine that. The wielder of Pinaka gave her the trident, drawing it out of his trident. Who is Pinaka? Belonging to Shiva. The dark god also gave him the discus. They gave her the discus, whirling it thrown with his own discus. That means the Sudarshan Chakra was replicated. A clone was created, clone Sudarshana. And that went to this goddess. Varuna gave her the conch, Agni, the lance. Vayu gave her a bow and a pair of quivers filled with arrows. Indra, the thousand-eyed god, lord of the gods, gave her the thunderbolt. Taking it out of the thunderbolt and the bell from the elephant Airavata. Yama gave the cudgel out of the cudgel of death, and the lord of waters the noose. Brahma, the lord of beings, gave her the rosary of beads and water pot. Surya placed his own rays on all the pores of her skin. That is why she glows. Kala gave her a sword and a spotless shield. The milky ocean gave her an unsullied garland, a pair of unaging garments, a brilliant crystal jewel, a pair of ear pendants, bangles, a luminous half-moon ornaments, bracelets in all arms, a pair of shining anklets, likewise a unique necklace and bejeweled rings on all the fingers. It all came from the Milky Ocean. So now you will understand what is there in the Milky Ocean. You know the reason why all these companies are putting up their oil fields inside the ocean? We have still not tapped anything from the oceans. You should know that. Actually, every country can become a trillionaire, a $1 trillion company or whatever, $1 trillion organization, if they just have to tap the oceans? You don't have to go to the Mars and other planets, you see. It's full of gold. All the beautiful stuff is there in the oceans only. So here the ocean has given the goddess literally like a wardrobe plus beauty equipments and stuff like that. Just imagine that. All the gold and everything. Vishwakarma gave her a brilliant axe, missiles of various forms as well as unbreakable armor. Today lots of countries want that. They are not getting it, poor fellows. The ocean gave her an unfading lotus garland to wear on the heads, another one to wear on the breast, and a very beautiful lotus to be held in her hand. Himvan gave her the lion as the vehicle and various gems. The Lord of the Wealth gave her a drinking cup always full of wine. The king of all serpents, Shesha, who bears this world, gave her a snake garland bedecked with huge jewels. I don't want to give you this detailed explanation, but you have to understand that she is been given literally everything. Take this, take this, take this, take this, take this, and all the good stuff only, okay? Nothing bad. You can take all the good stuff. Like you are the princess. Take everything that is beautiful. Take everything that is powerful. See, think like this. When we go to meet our best friend, we want to take the worst of the gifts for him. You know that, no? We don't ever give good gifts to people. When you want to distribute gifts, in our world we have these people, when they want gift, the gift should be 5,000 rupees worth. But when they go for somebody's wedding, they will give 500 rupees worth. Similarly, when you go to the temple, you want $1 billion worth and you give 100 rupees worth of garland. I mean, how does it translate? I have never understood. 100 rupees garland is equal to $1 billion or million? We are like this kind of people, No. This goddess was given the best of the best things. Creme de la creme. I mean, she is not going to go in some cheap car also. She's got one lion. Like that. Okay? Lion was given by Himvan. Must be the most ferocious lion ever, right? So like that, she has been given by everybody something or the other. Honored with ornaments and weapons from the other remaining gods as well. The goddess roared with loud laughter again and again. I mean, this is a very common thing in Indian film industry. I don't know why people have to do ha 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 like that kind of a laughter. I mean, doesn't make you anything great. All the villains also in the industry, have you seen, they have a very peculiar laughter. I never understood why do they have a laughter. Yes, you establish your credentials. So does it mean something? Yeah. Laughter is the establishment of the goddess that I am here. I have got the power. I got the power. See? Be afraid of me. So like that. The entire sky was filled up with the immeasurable, stupendous, terrible roar, and the great was the echo that arose. All the worlds were agitated and the oceans raged. The earth quaked and all the mountains rocked. Victory to thee, claimed the gods in joy to her. Mounted on the lion and the sages lauded her. Their bodies bowed down in devotion. Seeing the entire triple world agitated, the enemies of the immortals marshaled all their forces and rose up with weapons uplifted. Ah, what is this? Exclaimed Mahishasura in wrath and rushed towards the sound, surrounded by all the asuras. Now here we have the goddess is there, powerful, very powerful, strong. And Mahishasura, remember, he is that sleeping demon, no? Mahisa. He wakes up, looks around. What is all this noise going on? Who has put on this loud music? What is this? Everybody is laughing. I want to see. So he goes out to see. Then he saw the goddess pervading the three worlds with the effulgence, the tread of the feet bent on the earth low, the top of the crown scraped the welkin high. With the twang of her bowstring, she shook the entire netherworld. With 1,000 arms, she stood covering all the quarters. I mean, just imagine the goddess is doing all these kind of things, twanging the bow and, okay, I'm getting ready. I mean, yes, you got the power, I understand. Calm down. The great Mahishasura, great Asura, Chiksura, the name, and Chamara fought with the opponents equipped with the fourfold complement of forces. The great Asura, Udagra by name, with the 60,000 chariots, and the Mahahanu with a crore waged the battle. The great Asiloma fought in the battle with 150 lakhs, while Mashkala fought with 60 lakhs of chariots. Parivarata, surrounded by many thousands of elephants and horses and crores of chariots, fought in the battle. One named Bidala fought in the battle, surrounded by 500 crores of chariots. Other great asuras, tens of thousands in number, encircled by the elephants and horses, fought the war front of the goddess. In the battle, Mahishasura stood encircled by crores and crores of chariots, elephants and horses, with iron mace and javelins, with lances and pistols, with swords, battle axes, halberds. They fought with the goddess in the front. Some hurled lances, some other threw nooses. They began to attack the goddess by striking her with swords. The goddess Chandika also quite playfully cut into pieces these arrows and missiles by pouring on them her own arrows and missiles. I mean, just imagine. The drone technology was there at that time. All the drones are coming and somebody is just firing some weapons, creating some kind of a tung, 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 tung. Okay, this fellow is gone, that fellow is gone, that fellow is gone. So we must have borrowed heavily from these kind of books, no? Think on those lines. Today there is, just one country, Poland, some drones came over there, okay? And they had to stop their flights going up in the air. You know that, no? Just a few days ago. So now they have deployed weapons. They don't have anything of their own. They have gone to another country, please give me some weapons. Okay. So the president says, give me some money. So he has taken money and he has given all those equipment to them. These are dud equipment. No equipment is good enough. Okay. Because, see, understand one thing. In times of war, you have to continue the war for years. Then only it is profitable. In this today's day and age, are the wars continuing for many years? Yeah. It is profitable for those people who supply weapons and other things. You understand this? Even the coffins. The people who make coffins are the great people who earn during this time. Right? Huh? The companies which supply fuel, they make money. The companies which supply these aircrafts and drones and technology and this and that, they make money. So understand this. It's a great time for those people, Mahishasuras of this world. But for the person who is dying over there, only the person who is the smallest over there gets killed. Please understand this way how the war works. And your sympathy is with that poor fellow, correct? All are sympathetic towards the soldier there, isn't it? But there is somebody out there minting money just because this fellow is dying. You understand? War is always going to be like this. So here the battalion has started. The battalion is coming into the picture. The first name has come. Goddess Chandika. Did you notice it? Now another goddess is going to come. Now she is fighting all these arrows, ting, 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 all the time, She is just cutting them into pieces. There is another goddess now. Praised by the gods and the sages, the goddess Ishwari, showing no fatigue in her face, cast arrows and missiles in the bodies of the Asura. So there is another goddess, Ishwari. What does she do? She takes all these missiles, ticking, ticking, ticking. It just keeps on pushing the button. Just keep on going. We have one with us, Ishwari. And the lion also, the mount of the Devi, shook its mane in fury and roamed amidst the armies of the Asuras like a fire in the forest. I mean, just imagine the lion is he's doing like this, a long-haired guy. Okay? And when he does like this, all these guys are flying all over the place because he must be a big lion, isn't it? He roamed with the Asuras and, in the armies, killing everybody. The sigh that the mother fighting on the battlefront heaved became immediately her host in hundreds and thousands. Aggrandized by the forces of the goddess, this host fought destroying the host of Asuras with battle axes, javelins, swords and halberds. Okay, in the festival of war, some of the hosts beat the drums, some blew conches and the others played on mridangas. Do you know why I am not giving you the explanation, no? Rajma is there, she is going to give you. Not me. I'm just reading it for you. Now all these goddesses have started coming, one by one. The goddess killed the great Asura hundreds by means of trident, mace, lance, double-edged swords and ordinary swords. She felled certain Asuras by the ground by making them stunned with the sound of her bell. Now you understand why she has got so many hands and so many weapons? She is fighting so many enemies. Think on a country. This is very important. Think on a country. A landlocked country. What is it? A landlocked country. That means on all the four sides there are only land. Can it have a navy? Now, which enemy can they fight? All the enemies can come from whichever place they want, isn't it? But this Devi is a master of everything. She is a mistress of everything. She has got navy, army, air force, this, that, space force also. Okay, she has got all kinds of weapons also. She is fighting on all the fronts. And all the fronts are specialists over there. All specialist Devis are there. She is not one. I told you, no, she has got all the powers of all the gods. What do you do with all the powers of the gods? You have to use them. So she creates herself into hundreds of other goddesses. We have just covered only two of them, Chandika and Ishwari. So now she is doing something. She felled certain Asuras to the ground by making them stunned with the sound of her bell. She has got a bell also, and when she rings the bell, everybody dies. Certain others she dragged along the ground by blinding them with the noose. Some were split into two by the severed fall of the swords. Others smashed by the blow of the mace were laid onto the ground. Severely struck by the pestle, some vomited blood. Rent by the trident in the chest, some were felled to the ground. Looks like a gory scene from some very dangerous movie, isn't it? Everybody is dying, lot of blood, lot of things going wrong. In today's day and age, men who want to go and see their wife giving children, they faint over there. They can't see the blood. Here we have the goddess, so much blood going all over the place. In the battlefield, some of those who were afflicted by gods were caught by the flood of arrows, leaving no space in the bodies unstruck. Resembling porcupines, they breathed their last. Some had their arms cut, some others their necks. Heads of some fell to the ground and others were rent asunder in the middle. Some other great Asuras, the legs cut off, fell onto the ground. Some rendered one-armed, one-eyed and one-legged were again rent into two by the goddess. A few their heads cut off, fell and rose again. Others danced in the battlefields in tune with the battle drums. The trunks of other great Asuras with swords, lances and double-edged swords still in their hands, their heads cut off, shouted at the goddess, "Stop, stop." That means there is so much of mayhem going on. This is worse than a John Wick movie. Would you agree with me? All blood, 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 blood all over the place. Kill Bill. Worse than that. The place on the earth where the great battle took place became impassable on account of the chariots, elephants, horses and Asuras fell onto the ground. The streams of blood from the Asuras, elephants and horses became in no time huge rivers and flowed amidst the army of Asuras. Thus the mother, in the moment's time, led to destruction the great army of the Asuras just as a fire would, a great stock of wood and grass. The lion also shaking its mane and making a terrible roar prowled about, searching as it were the life breath in the bodies of the enemies of the immortals. The goddess with the host fought with the asuras in a manner that the gods were pleased and showered flowers from heaven. Here ends the second of the Devi Mahatamyam of the Markandeya Purana during the period of Savarnida Manu. Am I supposed to stop here? No. I have to continue. Third chapter this is. The sage said. Now we are continuing with this to understand how the goddess is killing all these creations of Mahishasura. They are not, Mahishasura is not getting killed. Okay. These are the creations of Mahishasura. When you fight a battle, the president doesn't go into the battlefield and fight. Correct? No? Or the prime minister. They don't go. They have their army, they have their generals, they have their brigadiers, they have their colonels, they have their commanders, they have their captains of the ships, they have, all kinds of people. So all these people are going, and everywhere there is a leader. Each leader has got some characteristic. So we try that. So the sage said, seeing the army being slain, the great Asura, Chikkasura, and the commander-in-chief proceeded in anger to fight the mother. So here we have Chikkasura, is the commander-in-chief. The Asura rained showers of arrows on the goddess in battle, just as a cloud would pour the shower of rain in the peak of Meru mountain. Then the goddess playfully cut asunder the valley of arrows, killed the horses and their drivers with her arrows. Immediately she broke his bow and the banner flying aloft, and with swift shaft struck in the limbs for him whose bow had been broken. His bow broken, the chariot smashed, his horse killed, and the charioteer slain. The Asura, wielding a sword and a shield, jumped at the goddess. With terrific speed, he struck the lion on the head with the sharp-edged sword and hit the goddess in her left arm. O delight of kings, the sword, the moment it touched the arm, broke into pieces. Red in the eye with anger, he took the spear. The great Asura hurled the weapon, resplendent with the luster at Bhadrakali, as though he was hurling the orb of the sun from the skies. One more name has come up, Bhadrakali. Seeing the sphere coming up upon her, the goddess released the sphere. It broke the spear into 100 pieces, as well as the great Asura. When the general of Mahisha, the great valour, was slain, Chamara, remember the second general was there, Chamara. The afflictor of the gods came forward mounted on an elephant. He hurled the lance at the Devi, and the mother immediately with a grunt made it fall to the ground lusterless. Seeing his lance broken and fallen, Chamara, filled with anger, hurled the spear. She broke it as well with her arrows. Then the lion leaped upward, seated itself between the temple and the elephant, and enraged itself in the hand-to-hand fight with the enemy of the gods. In the course of fighting, they came down from the elephant to the ground and fought quite excited, dealing each other terrible blows. Here, the understanding has to be, how does this happen? If you look at this kind of a battle going on, the younger generation today, the blind believers are going to believe this blindly. But those who believe in spiritual significance of it are going to find meaning in this. So the meaning of spiritual significance has to be there. We all have to go towards the spiritual significance. The historical data is not going to be around for us to even see where this happened and how this happened. Who is this Devi? What is she doing? And who is this demon and all that? So we need to get the spiritual significance of it. So please hang on for some time. Then the foe of the beast leaped into the sky with force. From there sprang on Chamara, severing his head with a blow of the paws. Udgara was killed in the battle of the Devi by means of rocks, trees and the likes. Karala was brought down by biting with her teeth, hitting with her fist and slapping with her palm. The Devi in wrath pulverized Uddhata with the stroke of her mace. She slew Bhaskala with the javelin, Tamara and Andaka with arrows. The great goddess, possessed of 3 eyes, smote and slew Ugresa, Ugravirya and Mahahanu with her trident. By the sword she made the head of Bidala fall into the body and sent Durdhara and Durmukha to the abode of death by the arrows. Now, every name has a meaning. So when we say Durdhara and Durmukha, these are significant characters if we actually analyze what is being mentioned over here. The word Chamara has a significance. Every word over here has a significance. Suppose I take a word, a name of a demon, Bhaskala, piercing, somebody who pierces. We get piercing pain, you know that many a times, isn't it? As if something is piercing our head, something has pierced our body. So these are demons which are affecting different parts. So we are going to understand them. Seeing his own army being demolished, thus Mahishasura terrified the host of the Devi with the buffalo form. Hitting by the muzzle, some trampling by the hooves, some other lashing by the tail, some tearing by the horns, some other with the sheer speed, some with bellowing and whirling about by some others and the blast of the breath. The rest he laid the host to the ground. And after laying low the host of Pramathas, the Asuras leapt to slay the lion of the great goddess. Seeing this, the mother became angry. He too of great valor pounded the terrain with his hooves in rage, threw about the mountains with the horns and roared. Crushed by the whirling speed, the earth crumbled to pieces. Lashed by the tail, the ocean flooded everywhere. Broken by his moving horns, the clouds went into pieces. His heaving breath lifted up the mountains in the sky and brought them down. Seeing the great Asura bloated with rage advancing towards her, she, Chandika, assumed an angry mood in order to kill him. So the Chandika Devi is over here. By the way, this book is also called Chandipat. Do you know this? So Chandipat is this portion where Chandika comes into the picture. She threw the noose over the great Asura and bound him. Thus bound by the great battle, he left off his buffalo form. Then immediately he became a lion. And no sooner the mother cut the head off that man, appeared with a sword in hand. Soon the goddess cut the man asunder with the sword and shield by means of her arrows, and he became a huge elephant. Shapeshifters, I told you, correct? So from lion, something else, from this to that to that, from Mahisha to whatever. Now he's become what? He's become a huge elephant also. The elephant pulled the lion with his trunk and rode. As it pulled, the goddess cut off the trunk with the sword. The great Asura resumed the body of the buffalo and shook the three worlds along with the mobile and the immobile things. Enraged at this, Chandika, the mother of the world, had again and again a super drink and laughed, her eyes becoming red. The Asura, too intoxicated with the strength and valor, rode and threw mountains at Chandika with his horns. And she, with a volley of arrows, reduced to powder those that were hurled at her, and said to him, her words faltering and color mounting up her face due to the intoxication of the drinks. The goddess said, roar, roar, O fool, at the moment till I drink this wine. Soon the gods are going to roar here when you are slain by me. The sage said, exclaiming thus, she jumped and climbed the great Asura, crushing his neck under the foot. She hit him with the trident. Then, crushed by her foot, she was able to emerge only as half of the self from his own mouth, overpowered by the valor of the goddess. Continuing to fight as half of the self, the great Asura was beheaded by the goddess with the sword and slain. Then, crying in consternation, the entire army of the Asuras perished, and the entire host of gods derived immense delight. The gods, along with the divine seers, lauded the goddess. The Gandharva king sang and the host of Apsaras dance. Here ends the third of the Devi Mahatamyam in the Markandeya Purana during the period of Savarni, the Manu. So here we have come to the end of this episode, and the goddess is born and she is taken charge, and she has finally killed the demon called Mahishasura. We are going to hear the explanation from Rajma. So I will stop over here.
Thank you, Krishna. So, like Guruji already explained, the Mahisha is a buffalo demon. And today, if you look at, because we are in Kali Yuga, we have a lot of lethargy, inertia, and indiscipline in us. We don't want to move ourselves to do any work. So the buffalo demon is nothing but it's Mahishasura. And this is something comes in us constantly. It's not just one off time, but it is there constantly. The next demon is the Mahisha takes a different form, and that form is a lion. So what happens is when I'm just going to take Guruji's example. So when a disciple is there with the Guru, and he's teaching the disciple, you should not be lazy, you have to get up in time, you have to do things in a systematic manner. What happens is the disciple gets very angry with the Guru. He thinks, oh, this Guruji is constantly at me. The ego comes in. The lion represents, I know. You get very irritated when the Guruji constantly keeps reminding you that you're a lazy bone, you don't wake up in time, you're not doing things in time. So, that irritates, the ego comes in. And it says, I know, I have done this, I've been all of this, don't teach me. We tell this to the Guru. Then the next comes, the next demon. From the lion, the demon transforms into man with a sword. What does it mean? You get very infuriated. You don't want to be in this. You don't like somebody telling you you're not doing things right. You're not doing this. You don't like to hear anything wrong stuff. Like the Madhu is only sweet talkers, remember? And Kaitab, they're not dead, okay? They are just dormant. You don't know when they can just become alive. They are there within you because your ego has not left you. And you get very infuriated. And you are like, I want to show, I want to fight. You want to fight your Guru. You know why Vishnu took 5,000 years to slay? Because we don't listen to the voice of the God, which is telling us all the right things to do in this world. But we want to be living like a pig, like a buffalo. And then our ego comes in. This is all deflated ego. This is not even an inflated ego. The inflated ego can be punctured. But the deflated ego is the biggest ego. People call me names, they are putting me down. We try to have this martyrdom. We are talking, we feel that, the whole world is out to get me, like my Guruji will say, persecution complex. Oh, everybody's there to do bad to me. It's your own creation of your mind. And that man with the sword is infuriated and wants to fight the Guru itself. And most of the time, if you're weak-willed, see what has happened, Mahishasura has taken the throne. So your entire body is now become the place of evil. You have thrown, even the gods have to do all the wrong things, right? Because they are obeying. Mahishasura has become the king he has taken Indradev's throne. So he has become the king of gods. So entire evil is working within you. So what happens if you are weak-willed? You don't have this goddess, the power. You will throw the Guru also out of your life. You will throw this God out of your life. And then from man with a sword, gets infuriated, then takes another form. That is the elephant. And what does elephant represent? Elephant represents ego, arrogance, and pride. Oh, look, what, I've done this, I know. And the pride is so much about the people, place, and things. Means about the person who you think you are, which is the creation of your mind. Or you believe somebody has praised you and you always tell up, people used to talk to me like this, people have told me about me like this. We end up believing all this nonsense, fake, the Madhu, the sweet talkers, and that's what your mind tells you at that time. Then arrogance grows and pride comes, which means what? You have become completely demonic in nature. And then from there you will say, I want to show, and you know what, you will do it for some time, and then again Mahishasura will rise and you become the buffalo demon back again. Inertia and lethargy will seep in. Now, if you see this, this is what happens to a human being. If you identify yourself every single day, you go through this. One day you will wake up, oh, today I'm going to get up. I'm going to tell my Guruji, I'm going to show him. That show him doesn't happen. One day you will do. Then you're back to square again. Your nature becomes dormant. Your tendency strong. So what is important here? Today we learned the power potencies of the Lord is within us. We have to invoke these divinity to fight all these demons. Nobody can fight it for you from outside. You have to fight it yourself. Very simple. How do you do that? You know what? 17 years under my Guruji. He will tell me once in a while, no, this is something wrong. You have not done this. But it is in my hands to change or not change. He is not going to do it for me. And that is called sadhana or practicing. If you decide that I have to wake up every single day at 5 a.m., you have to wake up. That determination, the will to do is within you, because all the power potencies of the Lord is within you. Till you don't wake up to the call and wake that divinity inside of you, you're always going to be in demonic in nature. The choice to be the divine or demonic rests with you alone. So with that, I will stop. And Krishna, if you can explain the small demons like the Chamara and Durdara and Durmukha, that would be helpful.
Not today. Today we have
Tomorrow
already
you can
exceeded the
summarize,
time.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So I will stop here now.